Do that dance. Brought to you by Electro Dance Academy in Mesa, Arizona. This is my first pod.
Is it really your first
podcast? I consume a lot.
You gotta show the logo a little bit.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Thank you,
that
Ania.
dance.
Thank you.
Ania, our last guest,
Thank you.
Cheers,
made us
boys.
some mugs.
These are nice mugs, man. It's a nice mug.
What are you drinking?
That's just a cold brew, a little classic,
There you go.
classic from the Starbucks cold brew.
I love the cold brew.
That's what's
Just
up.
black.
Yeah,
No
man.
sugar. You got sugar in there? You
No,
got milk
no,
in
sir,
there?
no, sir. Just
Yeah.
straight.
You were in LA this weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Phoenix's birthday. Were you out there for other things too?
His birthday
Yeah.
is tomorrow.
Yeah, he celebrated his birthday.
Phoenix
and I was
from
there
the
like
bots.
just shooting. Yeah, Phoenix from Electrobots. Love you, man. I think it's his 24th birthday.
So weird.
But yeah,
Weird.
right. So weird, right? We
I
used to
feel
be-
old.
Yeah, he's
Dude.
24.
That's my little cousin. That's my baby cousin. Like my little brother, essentially. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
grew up in my
I
house.
feel old, like just looking at the other kids too, like Aspen and like a Brecken. Like, see,
No.
I'm just like, what? It's
Yeah.
like you're driving.
They're all
now?
like driving. Have their license now.
Mhm.
So
It's
weird.
so weird.
How was his birthday party? What did you guys do?
It was really good. There was a bit of a situation that I think we just start getting into it. Why not?
Was alcohol involved?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not in like the way you would expect. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, had the party, everything. And you know, it's all the homies and it's the homies' crib. So I assume, you know, everyone here, they're great. You know, I don't have to worry about anything.
Mhm.
So you know, obviously, I just leave my stuff lying around, kind of in the living room.
Oh
which
no.
is you know, it was a mistake on my part. You know,
No.
a little
That sucks.
negligence. But basically, I go throughout the party. You know, everything's cool. So there's two rooms because they have an apartment on this side and then across
And
the
this
hall.
is Phoenix and Omar's apartment.
Yeah, Phoenix and Omar's place. They have an apartment here and over there. So I go back and forth occasionally. And like this party was amazing. You know, it was a lot of people there that I missed. Like the Williams family were there. Melvin was
Nice.
there. Like all our old friends. And they even had like food.
Yeah,
Like,
I
this
saw
is a
that.
tip for
Hawaiian food, huh?
Just for anyone who throws a party, you have to have some kind of food because
know what?
that was the best part.
Because you know what? That's the sign of getting older. 18-year-olds, 19, 20-year-olds, they don't give a fuck about food. Where's the
true.
$7 bottle of vodka on the lower shelf of Walmart?
Right.
Where's the Malibu? You know, when you get older, 24, 25, you start bringing food involved, and the parties get way better. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice.
dude.
Yeah, I saw that. It was
100%.
Hawaiian food, right?
Hawaiian food, amazing. The whole nine. Like, night so far was 10 out of 10. And I come back into like the main room, and for some reason I was like feeling my chest. I was like, oh, where's my bag at? Like that bag right there, the black one.
Was
I
that
was like,
Gucci?
It's Louis Vuitton.
Ooh.
So
Get it right.
It just sounded
Louis.
so stupid. But basically, I looked around and I'm like, oh, it's not on me. I think I put it on the ground somewhere. I'll probably find it. So I started looking around. And you know, when you first like do the whole keys thing, like you don't freak
Yeah,
out
yeah. Yeah.
immediately because you're just like, it's probably somewhere around. But after like 30 minutes of looking and everywhere, and then I noticed, I was like, I think somebody jacked my bag. I think
Dang, that's.
it is
In a
gone.
house.
What time is it? In like how long?
How
was it like-
I would say this was around like midnight or
Will you say it's like, was it like 70% homies?
I would say it was 90% homies, like
Dang.
95% homies.
Dang, what the heck?
95% homies. So the kicker is I was like looking around and I just remember there was this one individual. He's a rapper. His name's Takeo. And like I met him briefly. These were the only guys that we kind of didn't really know. It
Oh,
was,
no.
you know Fonte, right? Fonte
My
invited
cousin.
him.
My other cousin. You guys are hanging out with all my cousins.
I know.
Yeah, it was a cousin party.
I was the only cousin not there.
Yeah. So she invites him, and you know they bring entourage or whatever.
Oh,
And the funny
yeah,
part
it's
about it
trouble.
is, I don't know if it was the alcohol in me that made me so like bold. I was like, I FaceTime him, and I'm just like, hey man, my bag is gone. I'm not saying you had anything to do with it, but like you guys were the only ones that left kind of early, and like blah yada yada yada. And he's like, no man, that's not me. He's like. I would never do that. That's not how I roll. Like I'm Pacific Islander, just like you. Like
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't do that. And I was like, okay, you know what? At the very moment when I noticed it was gone, and the whole party started looking for it, they were like, I was like, okay, I have two options. I can either like dwell on this and be very sad, ruin the whole night, or I could just like chill out and enjoy the rest of my day, enjoy the rest of my night, and like worry about it in the morning.
Yeah.
So I chose like the latter because like there's no point, me freaking out and like stressing over it isn't gonna bring it back or remedy the situation. Yeah. So I woke up in the next morning and I get like a notification from my phone. It's like, hey, someone's trying to use your credit card.
Oh,
no
that
way.
fast?
With the quickness.
Dang.
With the quickness. So
greed.
Did you have to report it lost first? Or
no, here's the thing, which is why I'm so glad I didn't lock all my cards yet the night of, because when I got the notification, it gave me the name of the cafe that the person was at.
Dang.
And then so I hit up the cafe. I'm like, hey, someone's trying to use my card and it is stolen. I just saw that it went through your system, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, this is stolen? And I was like, yeah, the name on the card is Cris Motions. That's my name. And she was like, oh, there is this. So this is not the card. And I was like, yeah, I want you, like, who came in to use, like, what does he look like, whatever. And he was like, oh, it was this white girl, blonde hair, short, like. And
dang, my mind was going somewhere else, dog.
Dude. And the funny thing is, I was trying to keep her. I was trying to.
What's the office when he's like, picture who I was thinking about.
That was a white woman.
Yeah,
a white woman.
dude. And like,
savage.
I try to make the restaurant cooperate. I'm like, can you stall
Detain
them?
her, hold her.
I literally
Tackle her right now.
I literally said, like, she was like, oh, she came out and she's gonna come back to go order her food. I was like, can you like stall and be like, we're making your food, because it was a 30-minute drive from where I was at. It was in East LA. And she was like, oh, sorry, I can't do that. And then she calls me back again. She was like, oh yeah, so the girl came back in. I said the card was stolen and she left. And I was like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? So I had to put on my Sherlock Holmes hat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, how did you find it?
Detective mode. So literally go to the restaurant. I take a picture of the footage. Like, this is her, like,
Blaster on the pod, dog.
dude. Like,
Wait.
I got this photo.
How did you get that?
What's her? Yeah, how'd you get that?
Yeah, so I got this from
Did you see her at the party?
No. So the funny thing
Whoa.
about this is, I took this picture of this, and then I look at this this bag, and I was like, wait, that looks like a very recent purchase. Where is this logo?
Wait, they gave you the surveillance?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how'd you
They
get
didn't
that?
give me the surveillance. They made me like take a screenshot, but they had to blur out her face for legal reasons.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, so time out. Just
Yeah,
for
keep
people
going,
that are
keep
only
going.
listening, like he has a picture of the security footage from the cafe
This
of
is
this
when you go
girl.
to Google or it puts stuff
Okay,
on
hold
the
on.
screen.
So keep going. What happened?
Yeah, so
She wasn't at the party.
was it? Oh no,
Well,
she-
not that we know.
We'll get there. So you
But-
see the bag in the picture.
I see the bag in the picture, and I'm like, hey, where's that at? And she's like, oh, there's a clothing store right across the street here. So I go over there.
She went shopping
And
the
then I
next
go over
day.
there. I asked the guys, and I was like, "Hey, have you seen this woman?" She's like, oh yeah, blonde girl. She come in. She used card. She's like, she used card.
Was,
It
she
declined.
was he Filipino?
I don't know what accent. I don't know what accent I'm trying to go for, but I just know he
That
has
was
some,
Brazilian. He was
He has
Brazilian.
some kind of accent. And then I'm like, okay. She tried to use my card to buy like a bunch of clothes. Like, she was trying to go in, and it declined
Jeez.
immediately. So
People
I
are the
cut my
worst.
losses. I figured out. I showed Max this picture. Max Thompson, love you too, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, wait. He's like, I remember meeting that girl. She was the manager of the rapper that was at the party. And then
Call
like
the
I use my
cops.
Instagram stalking skills and like, okay, obviously look at the rap, look at his management, who's followed, blah blah blah. Find her.
He needs to drop her because obviously she's not making him any money.
Or where does it
They're
go?
in
Go.
cahoots.
Yeah, finish it.
Because so basically, long story short, like I hit him up. I'm like, hey man, you seem like a cool guy. You were chill, but your manager stole my stuff. I have evidence of it, and I don't want to go to like the cops and get them involved, but I'm gonna need to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
And like he was so shocked. He was like, whoa, like.
Not Rebecca. I
he's
just
like,
made her. Is that her
Looks like
name?
Rebecca.
Not
Katie.
with the
Yeah,
good
no,
hair.
but basically he's like, no, oh my gosh, like I didn't know that, like blah blah blah. He makes his manager call me, and we get on a FaceTime call, me and her manager.
You
denying
and that
it.
girl?
Play it.
Yeah.
No.
Play it. Play
Wait,
it.
so- So
Play
I
it.
get the FaceTime with her, and I'm like, hey, you stole my stuff. I need to make sure that I have everything in there because I know exactly what was in there that you took. And she's like, like I wanted her to look
Plug the
through
mic
it and
up, put it
show
close
me.
to the mic.
Oh.
Yeah, put the audio.
Oh, airplay it. Can you airplay it?
Yeah, I can hear play it.
Oh yeah, I guess with the airplay.
Yeah.
Airplay,
How do you do that?
Oh, I mean, let me help you out, player.
Yeah.
Dang,
But basically,
what
she
the
like she
heck?
shows me everything
got it. It's
that I
on.
I'm
have.
trying to turn up the volume.
Ooh.
Oh, what's the code?
0681.
Dude, this is wild.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Perfect. So yeah. My wallet.
And then here's your cards.
Okay.
I put those in the cup.
And then
Oh,
like,
what? She just
Yeah.
confessing?
Don't swipe left. Don't swipe left.
right? And she's like,
The wallet was thrown in my car with the bag.
okay.
Just wasn't the bag.
That's your wallet?
It's my wallet.
Honestly, I don't see him. I just called. Right now, hopefully they'll call me back. But I'm still going to be out here for another couple hours, so hopefully I'll be able to
She's like,
get
cool.
those.
No, I feel you. And then, yeah, definitely just AirPods wise.
Yeah, dude,
I'm
it's like
against that really.
so.
What?
Basically,
What?
Was she remorseful or anything?
so realistically, like the thing
Wait,
is,
so
too,
she admitted to taking.
She admitted, like, caught her in 4K. I even have footage of her, like, showing me her stuff. Her narrative was like, I didn't take your bag. My homie took it, but he just gave me the cards to use
So
and
she
see which
put
one
her
worked.
rapper friend under the bus?
Yeah, dude, that's what she said. And then, like, I was like, that makes no sense. And she's like, I didn't know it was stolen. I thought it was lost, you know?
Oh my
But
god. Why use
Why
it?
use the card?
She
And
was
she was
going
like-
to
she
jail
was
for a
like-
long time.
She was
what
like,
the heck?
she was like, I'm so sorry. There was such a misunderstanding. And I was like, there's no
Nah.
As you're
misunderstanding.
buying coffee.
I was like, this is the perfect
shopping.
understanding.
Sorry.
So at the
Went
end of the
shopping and
day,
everything.
like I tell her, you know, come back to the scene of the crime and give me my stuff back with
You have
everything.
ski mask and bats on?
Right. And she's like, okay, hold on, I just gotta drop my kids off first. I guess
Oh,
gotta.
no.
Damn, she threw the kids in.
She's a
And-
survivor.
And she had the audacity as well. She was an hour and a half away, so she's like, hey, can you meet me halfway by any chance? It's like,
Oh my
You
god.
stole my bag. Are you
I was
serious?
like, you mean
Call
to
the
tell
cops.
me? I was like,
You do it or call the cops?
I was like, you mean to tell me you're gonna steal my stuff and make me drive as well?
my God.
But long story short, I meet up with her later on the night. She gives it to me, like she was obviously trying to like apologize and everything. But I just when I saw her, I just saw red. I'm glad my friends were, but I wasn't like I was. Like,
What
you know
did
when you
Phoenix do? Max, what they did?
They just chilled back up. Like it was late at the night. I was just with my other homies.
Did my cousin Fanta know this girl?
No.
No,
She
she was
did
just like
not.
a friend of the friend of a
That's
friend.
the thing too. Like you know when you get so mad and you just get a little catatonic, you just like
Yes.
like frozen.
Yeah.
And like, you know, at the end of the day, like she tried to be like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, you know how it is. You know, I was just trying to like help
Oh,
my
yeah.
homies out, scan some cards.
How much did she spend? Did she spend a lot?
She didn't spend anything actually
Oh.
because it was declined. Because that shit was
Oh.
maxed out already.
Yeah, it's maxed out.
Yeah.
Sucker, jokes on you.
There was only $7 left in credit wise. So I was like, yes. But here's my thing that I've been asking all my friends as well, and especially my Snapchat. Like, I'm still in the on the fence, but not of like, okay, press charges or let it off free. Now, before I get, because I want to get each one of your
I'm
opinions.
in a different state of mind right now.
Because I'm gonna give you mine. Because like my thing was at first I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to ruin this girl's life and make everything hard. And she has kids. But then I thought, nah, she ruined her own life, and
Yeah.
I don't feel any remorse because she is only this apologetic and cooperative because she got caught. It's not like she had a change of heart and was like, hey,
Or this is what the
sorry.
hustler side of me is like, give me $500 right now. We'll squash it.
see, that was the thing. I mean,
I don't know. Is that
I mean, I
legal?
could
Real.
Is that
No.
legal?
That's
Definitely not
I think that's
legal.
extortion.
A settlement? Is that a settlement?
That's blackmail. Right?
That's blackmail or extortion.
Oh,
some
damn.
kind of-
Okay, just
But
call
yeah,
the cops
What
then.
would you say? I mean, the cop told me, he's like, you know what? You don't have to make a snap decision right now. You can always come back.
The cops?
Oh yeah, I already filed like police report and everything. But you know, they're asking me like, do you want to press charges? Like, I was gonna have a
Damn.
civil standby because when we met up, you know, it's obviously sketchy. Like, you don't know who she's.
Oh
gonna
yeah.
bring.
Who's she? Yeah, for sure.
She was actually guess
She was
like
actually really nice, huh?
no.
Oh, she was.
Well, she was like a little crackheady, but so basically,
A lot of
when
drug
she
dealers do.
pulled up
Druggers.
and she tried to use her kids as leverage. She was like, hey, by the way, I'm coming with my kids, so no funny business. And I was like, I'm not the one that's.
Yeah.
It's probably,
Yeah.
it sounds like she's used to these encounters.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, that's what I thought too. But she seemed like the kind of person that hasn't done this before because she was super shaky. And obviously, like, if you're gonna steal someone's stuff, you better
Yeah.
do it smart. Because like the first thing she did was, I'm gonna use this card physically, like not even on online
no.
purchase. Like maybe this is, who knows? Maybe this was her first time ever doing something like this, and it got her.
I don't know.
Like,
or
what would
first
Kyle
time
do?
Or first time getting caught.
Caught.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe-
Honestly, I've never tried to press charges
Yeah, me neither.
against anyone, so I don't even know what goes into it. I don't know if it's more of a headache for you to like have to
Yeah.
go through
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if this has happened before in the past, or if
Maybe
it
that was
happens
like
to
a
someone
call
in the
from-
future.
Call from God for her. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because one of my friends actually came up to me and she told me her situation. She was like, hey, I got caught like with theft and I got charged for it, and it kind of ruined my life, but it was like the best thing to ever happen to me because it really taught me a lesson, and also you can take classes to get it off your record. Like that's the thing. That's what changed my mindset. I was like, I thought she was
So
gonna come.
was she saying to press charges to
Yeah,
on that girl?
because I was on the angle.
Otherwise, it could create a monster. Like
Yeah,
got
because-
away with
Yeah,
it.
you couldn't enable
'Cause, you know,
some monsters, man.
like in her head, she'll be like, oh, I can do this stuff, get caught, but get away with it too.
Nah.
Like I didn't want to let her
Here's a-
off easy in a sense, because like who knows, she might do this to the
Yeah.
next person, and then they
Yeah.
might not be as nice. Like that's one of my
I
main
think
things.
I think
yeah.
you. I mean, I'm at the point. I'm 30 years old, and I'm at the point where my life where I'm like, I'm done creating little monsters, and I have enabled me. We have enabled people like trying to be nice, whatever it is, trying to do the good thing. But in the long run, you make big monsters. Little monsters are easier to take care of than once you have a Godzilla on your hands. So when Godzilla is a lizard, it's easy to take care of him. But you're feeding him and you're enabling him, and he
Yeah.
becomes Godzilla, and you can't take care of him anymore. So it's like, in my opinion, I would call the cops and like press charges, because later on in like
have to
you know
learn.
yeah. I don't know but that's what I would do.
I mean, I feel like is she gonna be directly in your life like for a while, or
Probably
do you know?
no, probably not. I didn't even know her
Yeah.
first name, honestly.
Yeah.
But someone's gonna like contact me, like a detective from the LAPD is gonna contact
Yeah.
me. I mean, the cops that I was talking to, it was kind of sad, because they were telling me, he's like, he was giving me like the process, and he was like, you know, unfortunately, the sad reality about California is there's a lot of people that do things out here that don't really get the repercussions that they deserve. He said that's just the reality out here in California.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, isn't there like a law in California that like if you steal anything less than $900, like you don't get like hit with
Yeah.
some
But
type
the
of charge.
thing
Like,
about
you
it
can
is,
almost get away with it. It's just like a slap on the wrist.
yeah. The thing about it is too, like the value when I accounted for everything that was in that bag
Oh, yeah,
was
how
like
much?
$3,200.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything.
everything. Get hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
everything.
I've also had experiences where I should have called the cops on people, and I didn't call the cops, and it created a bigger monster coming back. So I'm like, should call the cops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. This is your decision
But
to
that's
make.
that's like, I know, it is my decision, but that was like my LA story. I was
What if she stole? What if she stole people, like another mom that has kids that needs to feed her kids? Like, I don't know. Just
I'm for whatever creates peace in your life. If creating peace means like taking this monster and doing something about it so that you find closure, like that's fine. But if it also means this person is not going to directly affect me, and you know, and I'm not going to see her again, I'm not going to see these people again, or whatever, and I just want to have peace, I don't want to have the headache of going to court, doing this, whatever, I think that's fine too.
But
I
the
think
fact that that girl wasn't remorseful about it, she wasn't like, she was just like,
yeah.
no funny business, blah blah blah.
If you're
Like that's
remorseful, I mean, if I have
Eesh.
peace, I don't honestly don't give a fuck if you're sorry or not.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm leaving you alone because it's like what you said. I mean, I'm 30 years old too. If somebody doesn't want to be remorseful, I don't care. Do
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go about my business and keep doing my thing.
But it kind of made it sound like she wasn't serious about the repercussions. She was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
funny.
No,
it was
you're
just it just made it sound like no big deal kind of thing.
No,
Was
Yeah,
she
even
like
in
no
the-
big deal
in the
kind of
video,
vibes,
too,
or
it's
was she
kinda
like
weird.
kind of scared?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like for her, it seemed like more of like a oh dang, like I got caught. Like even
Yeah.
when she initially texted me, she was like, hey, I'm just gonna pull up, give you the bag through the window and dip. And I'm just like, first of all, I'm gonna need to check all my stuff is there.
Yeah.
And like I didn't get a sense of like apologeticness or like anything like that from her.
But that her friend gave you her number though. Huh?
Yeah, like her artist that she was managing, like hit him up. So that's why I'm like, for any artists out there, like be
careful
be
who
careful
you're
who you like
Work
work with. Be careful the people you're around, because like you never know if they do that to somebody else, like what can they do to you? And
Yeah,
guys,
I
I always
wouldn't
forget. I always forget about people like that, because especially here and in the space we have, I always like to surround myself with good energy, good people. Like
Yep.
I kind of blinded myself in a sense, because I was like, I forget that scumbag people like that exist in the world, because
yeah,
I'm
they're
surrounded
out
by
there.
you
Yeah.
guys that are always like positive and
Yeah, I appreciate that.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
We
but
try.
yeah, reminder, guys, there are scumbag people
There's
out
like,
there.
I think there's just like I call them survivors, and survivors are the most dangerous, scariest leech people
Yeah.
you could ever have, and they'll do anything to survive, whether it's being, nice to you, showing you love, complimenting you, being there for you, holding the door open for you. But it always comes back, what are the intentions behind these survivors? I'm sure she was really nice when she met you at the party.
Oh yeah.
But she was like, nope, this is my bag now.
I actually never met her.
And there's people like that there's people like that will be in your lives for years and you'll never even know. I call it also like yes men, like yes men or yes woman, they're dangerous.
2021.
Exactly, right? All right, yes X.
Yes, yeah, X. Yes,
yes X.
Non-binary.
Yeah. Just one day in LA.
One day in LA. But other than that, how
that's
was it?
wild. What in the world? What a crazy,
did you dance
crazy
at all in
story,
LA?
though.
I did for the most part. Like,
I saw a TikTok that you had.
Yeah, we made some TikToks, made some content. It's just like one of the main things about this whole situation too is it took a lot of my time over anything else. Like, items like things, it can be replaced. I can get a new debit card, I can get a new wallet, I can get new everything. But the time and the mental stress and the running around wild goose chase, that's like something you can never really regain. And it took one day of my whole trip out there that could have been used way more efficiently. Yeah. Because I even tried, like, before we met up, I was trying, like, hey, we should make some TikToks or we should make like a piece. But obviously your headspace isn't going to be in the most efficient mode when you're like thinking about, am I going to get my stuff? Am I going to get my stuff? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's a lesson learned. I learned to just keep my guard up, especially even if with my homies, because you never really know.
Yeah, lock your shit up in a room, one of your homies' rooms or something. Phoenix's room or something.
Yeah, because I was thinking about anytime I'm with you guys, like anytime we're at a function or a gathering, my stuff would be just out in the open. It would be with a bow. Just right. Hey, come use it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so true. And I think like that's kind of where like my response would be too. I think whatever your response is, like, you gather all the information you want, get all the people's opinions that you want, but whatever you do, I think is going to be the right move. You know what I mean? Like, just trust that it's the right move. Yeah. Like, if you want to like go down that road and charge, because I think like, again, we've been in situations where we didn't take like, which is so dumb that you have to take legal action. Right. Like, you would hope that we could just be like people, you know what I mean, and be understanding of each other. But you do have to take legal action sometimes with people, and I wish we would have done that in certain situations. But at the same time, too, I get where George is coming from, where it's like, I don't really want to like spend too much extra time like devoting my energy to this. So I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, I think I'd probably like press charges or do whatever I need to do just to make sure it's on record that this lady did that. Whether or not like you want to. Again, I don't even know how this works. I've never tried to do anything like that. But I'd make sure it's on record that this lady did that. And like, if you don't want to ruin her life or like try to like take it to the extreme, don't do that.
No, I want her gone. Throw away the key. Throw away the key.
You want her digging them holes. The Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, exactly. I want her to go to that with the snakes.
Oh, dude, what a great movie.
Eating onions and peaches.
Yeah. Movie.
What you say? Keep digging them holes.
Yeah.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
At the end of the day, I'm just happy it's all over. And like, I'm surprised that I was actually able to do this, because most people I assume would have just been like, oh, my stuff got stolen, I'm never seeing it again.
That's what I would have
done. I can't believe you did the private investigator.
Yeah, guys, like that's the thing is like,
that's a Louis Vuitton, man. You can't just let that go.
$200 to lose too.
Yeah, right? No, that was like
the bag is expensive.
It was just a persistence too, because like a lot of times, when you're faced with like a big challenge like that, no matter what it is, whether it's dance wise, you look at it so broadly that it's so big that you're like
unattainable.
But I just break it down like bit by bit, and I was like, okay, this is my problem. It is a pretty huge problem. Where's step one?
Yeah, what's the first thing I
was
can
like,
do?
Okay,
what's
step
one thing I can do?
Yeah,
I gotta find out possible suspects. And then after that, I was like, okay.
Red yarn out.
And like, a lot of my friends were asking me, oh, I wonder why she did that. Like, the why is easy. The why is always easy for a situation like this, because like you want stuff that you don't have, and you want the easy way out. Yeah. But yeah, and just get a list of suspects, find a trail, talk to the business owners.
You should be a detective.
That's what I said. I was like, I either have a talent for losing stuff or finding stuff, because I also, like, my camera lens that I had a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. You found it, like, at a club, didn't you?
I found it in a club that had no recollection of ever being at. And the only reason why I found it was because I had some random photos of a wallpaper in the club that I lost at. And I was like, why did I take a picture of that wallpaper? And I realized, like, that was at this club that I have no memory of ever being at. And I go to the bartender, I'm like, hey, this is random, but do you have a camera lens by any chance? She's like, oh, this. So I was gonna throw it away. I thought it was like a little piece of whatever. I was like, whoa.
Got $1,500 camera lens.
Yeah, so either I'm really good at finding things or losing and getting stolen from.
I
Yeah.
think a little bit of both.
Yeah,
Little bit
little
of
bit of both.
But if you invest some time in helping other people find things, then you
Yeah.
can outweigh the fact that you're losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
it's
fun. It's like a
true.
little video game.
It
But
is.
life.
A little bit.
But real life.
And like I don't know, am I gonna make my flight? I need my ID for my flight. Oh no, here we go. Like game start.
Game start.
Game start. Like
Jeez, that's
it was
risky,
wild.
man.
Yeah.
When did you get back in town?
Literally just like a couple
A
hours
second
ago.
Okay.
Today? Did you
Yeah.
drive or fly?
No, I flew.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, you heard of a Velo?
No.
It's this new airline, which does sound sketch from the jump, but tickets to LA from Arizona are $20.
No
Wait, what?
way.
What the heck?
Yeah, so like round trip would be 40, but then they will charge you for like carry on and checking your
Yeah.
bag.
Is it like
So-
Frontier though, or are the seats like
No,
cardboard?
honestly, it's like at the same airport that we did for Allegiant, that we did, but
Yeah.
the plane was new because it was a new airline, so everything was
Uh.
like pretty solid. Like overall, the money I spent for that trip was like $70, and that's like an
You
Uber.
had to
That's
pay
like
for the bags and stuff.
yeah. I had to pay for the bags, but that was like $10 a bag.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah,
So-
that's not bad at all.
So like
It's called a Velo.
a Velo, yeah, brand
How do you
new,
spell it?
AVELO.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just like, what?
I
Like,
know. I'm so bougie though. I'll pay the extra for anything but Frontier, Allegiant, Spirit. I'm not getting on.
I
it.
heard-
Depends how far you go too. If you're traveling like 6 hours, you gotta do something.
oh yeah, no, this was like an hour.
Yeah, it's not
flight.
bad. I'll do that. I'll do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
We used to take Spirit to Chicago. Never.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's too-
After we had
too
kids,
long.
we're like,
Yeah.
nope, no more.
That's too long.
How was your guys' banquet?
Oh, the banquet was awesome.
So tight.
It was such a good vibe. Everyone was having a great time. Like
It was
the energy
cool.
was great. Everyone was good. Yeah, it was just freaking awesome.
Just
The
got to
parents, a lot of parents we
celebrate.
didn't see, like didn't know.
Oh
and-
yeah, I didn't. I
Really?
literally probably
I think 'cause-
20% of the people that were there I
Yeah.
have never seen before.
Because COVID, everything's been shut down. Our lobby's been shut down, so parents never really come in. It was good to see everybody. It was outdoors, so like there was no mask, and it was crazy.
Yeah, it's tight. Our studio council like put it all together super nice, and it was
Wow.
cool. We gave away like a bunch of awards like to our company members, and then all the rec kids were the only ones that really performed, except for we added 4 new staff members.
Oh,
We
what?
did that. Have you heard of our work train program that
I
we're
have
doing next year?
not. Nuh-uh.
So we're doing like with just teenagers. We gave them an opportunity to like apply for it, and basically like they're gonna like teach a class or 2 a week, like learn how to teach. They're gonna teach like underneath like one of us or one of our staff. So learn how to teach and make sure it's something that they even want to do. These are all kids that like want to choreograph, want to teach stuff
Right.
like that. So they'll do that and they'll work alongside and kind of get like the in and outs of like running a studio type thing. So we picked 4 people that are now officially like on staff. They'll start in August.
Is it a
teaching.
secret or
No,
No,
it's,
no, they got
Ania.
announced.
It's actually Ania, our last one. Aspen, who's also been on the pod.
Maya.
Warwick, and Maya. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is
so
my-
it's those 4.
Oh, wait,
No,
My
Mason's
son's
already on
been
staff.
teaching
That's
already.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
What?
But yeah, so they all had like they all prepped like pieces to like perform and like showcase at the banquet.
Yeah,
too.
they
It
were
was tight.
super good.
That's so
Oh
awesome.
yeah, it was their choreography was so tight.
You guys are like very good at like cultivating growth and just like dancers, but also individuals too. Like those people you just named off, I already saw like good potential in them. Just being in class and being such a team player, you guys
Yeah.
are really good at that. Like all the us, like all the outlaws, like bots, like we learned how to be like gentlemen. We learned how to like carry ourselves the right way with respect, with dignity from like pretty much you guys. Like you guys were like the generation
man.
in front of us, like inspiring us.
hear that?
And now, no, that's so true though.
I
Like
appreciate it, dude.
literally, like there was a moment in time, like way back in the old days,
Yeah,
way
yeah.
back years ago, where I would literally spend more time with Electro than my own family.
Yeah.
Like I would
Yeah.
see you guys more than my family at home.
Yeah.
So I did have to learn how to like be a man like through you guys, because like I was a teenager. You know that rough teenage years where you're
Yeah.
where you think you know yourself, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know anything. You believe you can, but like, and you're also very like impressionable in that age range, like that 16 to like 19 age
Yeah.
range where you're trying to find out who you are. These guys really helped me with that, like just watching you guys. So
I appreciate it. Just to
that's
think,
so dope.
to think though, like when you started the Mega Crew, I was 23 years old, turning 24, 23. That's a
me.
baby.
That's
you know, I
how
didn't know
am.
what I was doing. We didn't know what we were doing. We were kind of just like learning as we go. We didn't know that we were gonna have like people looking up to us and having to watch what we say, and like we just wanted to dance, and then like, oh shit, like this is more than just dance. We have to learn how to become leaders and mentors, and it's something that we didn't sign up for, that we were just there, and it, you know, ups and downs, but at the end of the day, like looking back, it was like the best thing that's ever happened to me. It was like having you guys, like you guys are like your generation, you like Outlaws and all those guys, like were one of the main reasons why we felt, my brother and I at the time had to push so hard. You know, it was just a crazy time, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun, but it was just we just had to learn how to be leaders by getting thrown into the fire, and I think that's the best way to learn, you know, like
100%.
yeah, it's the best way to learn. I feel like, you know, a lot of people like will do like research before they do something, and they'll once you like, I want to be let's just say a real estate agent, you know, I want to be a real estate agent, and then they'll Google like how to be a real estate agent, and there's like 20 things they need to do, and they'll be like, fuck that, I'm not gonna be a real estate agent. So they lose their confidence, and they'll be like, don't even do it, because they see all the things they need to do.
Right.
And the best way to learn is just by just deciding it and just doing it, you know. And that's what happened to us as teachers, and we're just like, fuck it, let's just do it. And when you learn as you go, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's kind of like what you're saying. It's a giant problem or a giant task that you
exactly.
want to do. It's like, okay, what's the first thing I have to do? You know what I mean? And taking that step.
Right.
And what's the second thing I have to do now that I've done that first thing? You know what I mean? And just kind of builds into this into this crazy thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I approach like the video work and stuff that I do now.
Yeah, you're killing it.
You're crushing it.
Thank you.
But when did you start?
That I picked up the camera like I would say like about a month and a half ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and if you look at what you've done in the last month and a half, it's nuts. But it's all those like little baby steps. It's like, okay, what can I do today? How can I get better now? How can you know what I mean? Like it just adds up.
Yeah, your video, your quality and like the way you edit is already looks like super professional.
So
it's like really impressive.
Yeah, it's like that. It's the same thing that like goal setting, like you guys just mentioned. Like I had a conversation with one of my friends who like does social media as a living. Like he's like top TikToker in Arizona, and like he was telling me, he's like, Chris, you know, you have a goal. You want to be videographer. Okay, let's break that down, because that sounds very daunting from the jump. You're like, dang, I got to do all this, but just take it day by day and grow incrementally every single day. It's like, okay, I got to learn about shutter speed. I got to learn about aperture, ISO. I got to learn about focus. Like every single day, learning just a tiny bit of your goal, because people think when you have that goal, you have to tackle it on right away. You know, it's like, no, there's no timeline for your goals, because you should always have a goal regardless. So just every single day, I'm like trying to learn a little bit more or learn something that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
You know,
and you probably cut your time in half by just reaching out to somebody, a mentor, you know? And like
using,
cut your time in half. You're using your resources. And like people, I tell people all the time, like, I'm not smart. I'm just resourceful. I'm just YouTube it or whatever it is. Or reach out to people you don't, you know, in their field that they're an expert at. And that's what you did. And it's probably why you've gotten so good so fast. You know, like you find an industry that you want to go into, and you find somebody who could help you, and you reach out.
Yeah, and people like they think that you gotta do this stuff alone, and you know there are some things that you eventually have to find out for yourself, and you have your own journey. But people forget that everyone here that's in your space, like they're people too, so you can interact with them. Yeah. Not like in like, oh, let me use you, but like have a normal conversation, make a bond, like a genuine bond, and like see where it goes from there. Like that's how I learned everything, like even dance. Like I tell this all the time, like my talent isn't dance at all, it's people skills. And because like literally that's how I figured out how to like dance and stuff. Like that's how I figured out. I was like, oh, electro, like my origin story, like I remember I started with Max, and then we only had one rehearsal together at this varsity crew we were both a part of, and I was like, oh, you're Max, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, yeah, this is like my only rehearsal because I'm going to join Electrolytes. And I was like, Electrolytes? I was like, what's that? That sounds kind of familiar. It's like, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm going to switch over to their crew. And if I hadn't reached out and been like, oh, what's your contact? Because you know, you're a chill guy, we should like link up. And like, it was genuine too. I didn't want to be like, oh, you're going to Electrolytes. Let me see what I can do. And that's where it started. Because if I didn't reach out to Max, I wouldn't have found out auditions for Electrolytes, Sal Nico, blah, blah, Like people skills are like very, very important.
Yeah, I tell people, I tell people we're not in the dance studio business. We're in the people business as well. So it's crazy.
I've seen Cris too, like talk to people, and like the one thing that there's many things I appreciate about you, but something specific that I appreciate about you is that you're not afraid of rejection, like at all. Like you go, like even where, it doesn't seem like it's at least that's what it seems like. Like when we're in New Orleans, like you just like talk to everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? But you take that into your business life too, and I just think that a lot of people are afraid of that. They're afraid of like somebody telling them, I don't feel like talking right now, or oh, I don't want to show you this, or whatever. But it doesn't seem like you're afraid of that, or afraid of like criticism either.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean, it's
constructive criticism.
I find it as like a shortcut because a lot of times people are scared of what they don't know yet. That's why, like, if you see a girl at a bar, well, not you guys because you're all married men here, but anyways, you know, like when you see someone at a bar that you want to approach, like. For me, if I see someone within the 30-second time span, I have that window. If I don't jump on it, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because the more the clock ticks, the more thoughts go into your head of like, oh, what if she says this, or what if I come off creepy? What if, like, you literally just have to just send it because my thing is it's a shortcut. Like once I approach and like talk to whoever it is, and I can also get a feel for like, okay, they don't want to talk, then all my thoughts are gone because you're only scared of what you don't know. The only reason why you feel like this is because you're thinking about the possible outcomes. You're like, oh my God, what if she makes fun of me? And I always, in my mind, I always pick the worst case scenario that's ever going to happen. Like if I see someone, she's going to be like, gross, or whatever. And I'm like,
that's happened to me.
I'd be like, dang, how do I feel? Oh, I wouldn't really feel that bad. Send it. Okay, what's up?
That's tight. I love that.
Yeah, and I always put
there's a book called The Four Agreements. Yeah, it's the 4 agreements, and the second rule is never assume. Don't assume, and that's basically what you're doing. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, because we have these arguments or these imagination fights that we have in our heads that we're just assume the person's gonna react that way, and it's never probably 100% never. Happens like that.
How often do you get like absolutely shut down, rejected? Like
honestly, I don't know if girls are like just nice and trying to play that nice card, but it rarely happens. Not in like the most like, oh, it never happens to me. But I think it's more like conversational. Like for me, when I talk to people or girls and specifically, I always come at it of like I have a girlfriend mindset. It's like how would I care myself if I like. I'm in a relationship and I just want to like know somebody, you know?
That's so true. Cause
that's so
true.
That's so good.
And also my number one goal anytime I'm interacting with anybody too, it's like very simple. Guys have a hard time doing it, but it's very, very simple. Just don't be creepy. That's my one main goal anytime I'm out and about. Don't be creepy. Just don't be creepy.
And that's so true. No, what you just said as far as like pretending like you have a girlfriend or like putting that in the back, like that's your backstory.
Yeah.
That works because it like takes all the pressure and all the like guards down. That's how like the reason I think it worked out with me and my now wife, Lorraine, is because I went into the first time I interacted with her under the impression that she had zero interest in me. Like when Nico was introducing me to her, Nico was dating another girl and...
No, I wasn't dating her, man. Don't put that
put labels on it.
Put labels on it.
Nico, whatever. I was talking to a girl that Nico was talking to.
Talk about the girl with the mole, right?
Big hairy mole. I was like, hey, like, do you have any friends you can set me up with? And she said she went through like a few of her closest friends and she's like, oh no, not her, she has a boyfriend. Oh no, not her. And she got to Lorraine, which is now my wife. She's like, oh, Lorraine. She's like, Lorraine's not into white guys, so that wouldn't work. And then we ended on Bailey, so this girl named Bailey.
You throw names out there.
I know, sorry. Ended on this girl named Bailey, so I went over to meet Bailey at Lorraine's house. And Bailey was already passed out. Like she was like out cold on the couch. Wow. So I sat down next to Lorraine under the assumption that I had zero chance with her. And it worked. It worked. It worked. I had no idea. She was like trying to get me to get her number and like all these things, and I missed all the signals because I thought she was just uninterested.
Wow. And for you guys too, because you guys have been all like in long relationships for the most part. Yeah. And my last one was like probably a couple years ago by choice, and I learned a lot. Have you met Dean? Remember the blonde girl?
Yeah, I remember.
I came to a point that was the one that made me realize that like.
She didn't really talk much.
Yeah, no, which is complete opposite of me. Sometimes opposites attract, and sometimes opposites are just opposite. Yes. They just meant to for a reason. Yeah, because like it made me realize that like okay, a pretty girl, like I'm trying to verb this in the right way, but like it's like for lack of
what
better
you say.
verbiage, like a dime a dozen, because no matter what, I can walk down the street and see another physically attractive girl. Like there's plenty of them around, but someone that I can like have conversations with and someone that I can like laugh with and make me laugh and bounce ideas off of, that's like something rare. And I've yet to find that. But also I'm not really like trying to look like, I'm sure like it'll just fall into my lap eventually. No pun intended, but like, you know, they will just come into my life, you know, like from your guys' stories of how you guys met your spouses, you know, it seems very like natural. It's not like, hey, looking for a wife. Like, hey,
sometimes that
Facebook.
works. Sometimes that works. There's people that have those stories, like, you know, online dating and stuff. But I think like, you know, pretty quick, like whether or not this is someone you want to just like hang out with or someone that you want to spend the rest of your life.
I remember when
with. You know
Nico
pretty quick.
came back from his date with Jenna, like they went to, I think, Joyride, or like, it was like some.
No, it was like it's called the Watershed. It's
Watershed,
such a
that's
great
what it
place in Tempe. It's like right off the lake. It's amazing.
I remember when he first came back from the thing, like back at the Manor House days, he was like, I'm gonna marry this girl, and I was like, what? I was like, hello? Like, there's no way that's gonna happen. Like, and now you got 2 kids.
2 kids,
With
married,
Todd
6 years.
talked about that too. In his,
Yeah.
In the best man speech, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember him saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I kind of just knew, and it's like I feel like a lot of the, you know, definitely loved her and was attracted to her, and I thought she was awesome, but I kind of just decided to like I'm gonna marry her. Like she's awesome.
She's the one.
Yeah, she's the one.
Like,
And it's not like that for everybody, you know. It's different because I've met other girls, and I'm just like before Jenna, obviously, and I was like nope, and I kind of just wasted my time, like ignored the red flags and all that BS. But yeah, I got to the point where like I'm not wasting time, either negatively or positively. Like if it's negative, I'm not. She's gone. If it's positive, she's gonna stay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like someone made the metaphor. It's like when in a relationship, it's like being in a car with somebody, but you both have a steering wheel, and like you can't be trying to like steer your partner's like wheel because it's not gonna work out because like you're trying to take over their wheel and like steer for them, then you're gonna lose track and vice versa. But if maybe something falls on the ground and you need to pick it up, then I'm like, oh, can you help me out? Like you guys help each other out. Like you're in the same kind of like lane but separate, if that makes sense. So everyone, you're just a co-pilot. Like you're doing your own thing, she's doing her own thing, but you're making each other's lives better that way. Versus like, oh, I need this person to make me happy. Like I believe in like, this is coming from a guy who has like very minimal relationship experience, that I assume that a happy relationship isn't like one person making the other person happy and vice versa. It's like the product of 2 happy people coming together.
Yep.
And then it just makes double happiness.
But that doesn't mean also too that there isn't like trouble and stuff. But it's like you said, it's like you figure that stuff out as you go, as both your hands are on the steering wheel. You know what I mean? And you know, troubles come, but you know, if you're working together and like you were saying earlier, like I know opposites attract or whatever, but if you're like-minded for the most part, then you guys will stay on the same track too. At least that's how, I don't know. That's
Same
how I
team.
feel.
Yeah,
same team.
Same
team.
team.
Same
I
No,
don't
yeah,
know
I think
that one.
it also like with the car. I've never heard that, but I like that a lot. Like, it's obvious when you guys start steering in different directions too. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're in a relationship and like she's going this way and you're going that way, and it's clear like you're both set on going these 2 ways. You can't be in the same car anymore. You know what I mean? Like if you're heading in the same direction as like your partner, and that direction changes, like me and Lorraine have done like all over the place, but we've always been together. You know what I mean? Like always knew like we're going wherever we're going together, which makes it work.
Because one of my friends asked me recently, like, shout out, I'm not gonna name you, but he was like, man, I feel like my relationship is like drifting. Like, do you think I should like take her on a trip and make me have something like just intimate time? And I was like, for me, like I gave him the best advice as I could from the experience that I have, and I was like, you know, I feel like there's a point to where it's drifting that you can't get it back together. Like eventually, there's a point where you just have to like walk away from it, because he was trying to think of things that he could do for her to make it better.
A lot of people do that too. Like, let's have a kid and maybe we'll you know, make the relationship, or let's go on a trip, or let's, you know, do stuff like that.
It's like, for me, I don't ever want to like, to an extent, I don't ever want to change who I am as a person and my values and how I carry myself for someone else's like acceptance. If she's like, oh, I don't like that you do that, like, okay, because now I'm just trying to cater my life to yours and what you want. obviously if I get in a relationship, I'll be like a more tamed version of myself, but I don't want to full on like change who I am and how I speak and how I carry myself.
Right.
You should,
Because there's no point, because then you're just like a lapdog. Like
my friend, we were on like a business trip for a couple of months, and his girlfriend was there, and this is so funny. But she left, so we stayed back. We were in China, and it was all dudes, and he did the classic mangina. Tucked it between his legs, and it was you know you are for this. Tucked it between his legs, had the video out, just took a picture, but sent it to only us, and we were all there. And it was so funny. It was just all really close friends having a good time. Yeah. And the girlfriend called. They're obviously no longer together, and the girlfriend called, and she's like, "How could you do that? Blah blah blah." And basically, I heard him from another room. He's like, I will always do the mangina. The mangina is who I am. This is who I am. I was just trying to make everyone laugh. I'll never stop doing the mangina. You can't change me. Blah, 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 blah. And they're going off.
That's definitely going on the preview.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
I was like, dude, he has a point, though. Like, it was just friends. We're all having a good time. We're in a hotel room, whatever it was, and just so much fun and making everyone laugh. And she was not having it because he was doing the classic mangina, right? And he's like, "You can't change me. This is who I am."
You can't
a week or two later, they broke up, and they
You can't change. I mean, it's inevitable. It has to come from like inside, like from within. And speaking of change, like I feel like we're about to enter like a new change for at least for the studio. You know, we got auditions coming up. May 28th. Auditions coming up. Like I wanted to ask you guys, since I have the owners here, pretty much like, what do you guys see the trajectory for the company going towards? Is it like, you know, I hate the whole like, oh, where you see yourself 5 years, 10 years thing, because like I don't know, you know, where I'm gonna be at tomorrow. You know, but like, what's your guys' vision? Would you say for our home here, like, because you guys are like the growth has been crazy. Like we just got this new like big space here. Like when we first came in, it was just there, and like you guys are like growing like exponentially, very very quickly. Might be a little bumps in the road, but
I mean, for me, it's just like I want more people to experience this. You know, I've been saying this studio is the best since day one, and not because it was at the time, and it probably isn't now, but like I believe it can be. I believe we have the energy to what it takes to like make the studio the best in the world. Something different about this place, and people tell us when they come in, it's like so different. What do you guys do? Blah blah blah. So for me, I just want more people to experience that feeling, and I want more studios. I want, we want to get another location in a different state. But I just want more students. I want our staff, and, our teachers and all this stuff that work for us. Like, I wanted them to be able to do it like full time and like make a living off of it. I think dance should be something that you could support your families with. I feel like there's not a lot of older dancers because they need to do something else or whatever it is. Like, no, I want you guys to like dance to be like, no, I could do this. I could, have a wife and kids, and this is a good route to have. And so it's just like helping our staff with that vision as well, and then helping our students like with opportunities and stuff. But I just want to grow, man. I just want to keep growing. I want more students, for they can experience. And that was the whole reason why we started the Mega Crew too, is because, the ABDC season 7, there was 8 of us, and then my brother and I were like, we want more people to experience what we did. We want them to travel. We want them to get paid. We want them to, have the brotherly bond that we had, because it's something special that I feel like everyone should have it. And once they have it, they know what it's like. Like Outlaws too. I'm sure you guys felt that brotherly love, and
100%.
And that's what we always wanted, and that we want it we want it exponentially now.
Yeah, I think that's the key though. Is like, I want growth, and I want more students, but I want them again to experience what we got to experience on this like super small micro level. And like, so it scares me sometimes like growing really quick, because I want to make sure we're like creating the right environment and atmosphere, and like have the right people in place. And so like, that's honestly been my focus all year long, is like, okay, who's going to take the torch next? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be able to sit in this seat for very long. Who's going to replace me? Like, you know what I mean? And then who needs to replace that person? Who needs to replace, you know what I mean? So it's like it's constantly.
We want to build like a system. We're building a system here where it's like you could have this system of like, this is what it takes have that family vibe. This is what it takes to have that fight, to have that hunger, to be, to build. This is what it takes to build dedicated dancers. And we want to have that system and implement that system in different buildings.
Right.
So you go to, Hawaii and there's electro there, and you're like, oh shit, this is electro. It feels like
it's like an in and out.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
It's like in and out where it's like you, no matter which one you go to, there is like consistent.
Exactly the same.
Wow.
I think practically too, we've been talking a lot about looking into like getting a like agency license so that we could actually be a training facility and also help some of our like pre-professional dancers and professional dancers actually get gigs, because that's the thing that we experienced a lot as the 8 of us got to travel. Obviously it's a lot easier when it's like just a smaller group of people, but part of like what we want people to experience is like what Nico was saying, what Kyle was saying, is like being able to go out on jobs, create that camaraderie, and also get paid. You know what I mean? Like that's been a big goal of mine.
I gotta get going, guys. Sorry, I gotta take my kids to swim.
Oh, the kids.
Swim lessons already?
Yeah.
Swim lessons. Summertime.
Yeah.
Summertime.
Have fun.
I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
I see you, Nick. See you, Nick.
Oh, my
Nico has left the building.
But yeah. I mean, the agency thing, that's gonna be tight too. I know it's gonna be tight.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, what do you guys think about like agencies nowadays too? Like, is it worth, like, even for me when I'm looking around, like, or is it kind of like social media based?
There's some people that get like pretty good, like our teacher here, Taylor Knight. She's got a great agency, but she's also very talented too.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a little bit of both, where you do have to be like talented, but you also have to make sure that you're picking the right agency too. Do you know what I mean? And here in Arizona, I don't really know too many dance agencies out here or talent agencies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I
That's
think
what we wanna
I'd love for this place to be that for, especially for dancers, because that's what we specialize in. But who knows what the future holds? It might be other stuff too. We'll see.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, I think it also like depends on like cost versus reward.
Yeah.
Like for you, like if you're making the decision, it's like, what's the cost of it for me to do this, to put myself in this position to get booked versus like the amount of bookings that I'm going to get. You know what I mean? Some agencies charge an arm and a leg to like get in.
Right.
Some require this, and this. And so it's like, if it doesn't really cost you anything and like you're just kind of putting your name in a hat and you get a good gig every once in a while, you already have like your teaching jobs, it just kind of depends on like how into it you want to get. And again, like, what's the cost versus like how much does it actually
absolutely like, is it worth it? Like, what's the ROI looking like?
Exactly. 100%.
That's the biggest thing too, because you never really know too. Like, you never know what the future is gonna hold. Like, this person you're talking to right now might not do anything for you right now or help you out, but
could be the key to some next level in the future.
That's
why you just have to be good to
road.
people. You just have to be, you know what I mean?
Just be good people, y'all.
good,
Like, don't steal bags from parties.
Right. Don't steal bags at parties.
That was an insane story. Did that happen night one that you were there, or
that was like pretty much the first night I was there.
So I just like ate up all your time.
Yeah, at one point I was just like, why? It's like, why me?
Right.
Dude, you got to look into some type of like private investigator type.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean it was honestly really fun. Like,
It's really fun.
Because
You're too good at it.
Because I was like, I'm gonna find myself out of the situation somehow, some way. Like, you always gotta find a way, no matter what. Like, no matter any kind of situation I'm in. Like, I try to be as logical as I can. And like keep my emotions in check. Like, I rarely ever get like mad or furious or like snap. Because I try to look at it from all different angles and sides. Like, you gotta like find a way to like be efficient as you can, but not like a robot. I was like, okay, I don't know where my bag is. I must step one. But to a certain extent.
No, you've got like the structure for like goal setting and you know what I mean? Like, you've got that implemented, but you also, like we talked about, you have the people skills and like the caring skills that like make people want to work with, you know what I mean? So yeah.
And then that's like something with electro too here. It's like, I realize that, for lack of better verbiage, not selling, but we're not selling like dance classes. We're not selling like opportunities. Like, what we're kind of selling is like the culture and the experience of being something like this. It's just like the most popular brands out there. Like, when you think about a brand like Nike, you don't think shoes, you don't think whatever, you associate it with an emotion. Like, when you think Nike, I think athletes, I think sports. Like, when I think of Apple, like, there's a lot of equipment, or like there's a lot of technology out there that is beyond Apple. Like, on paper it's like way better, and that should be the choice. But when you think of Apple, you think of like creativity, you think imagination, you think cleanliness. Like,
there's a story about Apple too. I think, who said? Steve Jobs was talking about it. Right? He was talking about his dad. I don't know. Maybe you heard this story too. His dad, like as a kid, was like, make sure he had him like paint the fence like out in the yard or something like that, right? And so he paints the outside of the fence, right? And so the dad's like, okay, well now do the other side. And Steve Jobs is like, well, no one's ever gonna see that side. And his dad was like, well, we'll see it. Like, we'll know. We'll know it's incomplete. Do you know what I'm saying? And so then years later, he took that same concept into Apple too. And I forget what he was telling his team something about, I don't know, some back window, like techno stuff, right? And it was the same thing, kind of like, you know, they did something and then they were like, well, Steve, no one's ever going to know. And he's like, well, but we'll know. And that's the integrity that like, I'm hoping that Electro's also instilling, like, from all angles. Do you know what I mean? Like we really I wake up in the morning, and I know all of us do, you know what I mean? I wake up in the morning, I really try to be try to be the person that people already think I am. At least I hope. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I really try, like if I'm telling people get up, you know, work out, eat healthy, you know, work on your mental, whatever you got to do. Like I have to make sure that I'm doing that too, even when people don't see it.
By example, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's perfect. That's especially like when, like, you know, it's genuine when you're doing something and no one's watching at all. It's the same thing with our push-ups concept. You know, like the things that you do outside of everyone's view is what makes you you. Because like I could be a good person in front of everybody. I can be like the nicest guy, like ha ha ha, great. But if no one's watching and I'm not the same person, then that person that I am when no one's watching is who you are. That's who you really are.
It's so weird, and like it feels weird to like live a double life like that.
It's just exhausting too.
That's what I mean. It's got to be exhausting. It's not healthy. So just I've always tried to be, you know what I mean, consistent throughout.
That's one of the hardest things that is also one of those like no-brainer things that you would expect people to just know, but it's like it's the most cliche thing ever, but you know, things are cliche for a reason. Like, just be yourself. It's the hardest thing for some people, and I get it, you know. But once you find out yourself and who you really are, your life just becomes like crazy better, like exponentially better. For me, that's one of my kind of faults, I would say, is like sometimes like I'm 100% myself 100% of the time, and that can be a good or bad thing. You know, you can only imagine like having a conversation with someone. Like I talk to you guys like how I would talk to a stranger I just met. Completely open. But I think that's also another shortcut in life when you're very much yourself. The people that don't vibe with you
know right away,
and you know right away too. There's no like fake like, oh hi. Like 100%. Further down the road, you're like, oh, I don't actually like this guy anymore because he's changed. He's like, he didn't change. He's just showing himself. He's just onioning himself. You really see who you are after the time goes by.
I feel that.
Well, I actually have to go too because my babysitter
time to work.
It's supposed to be off already.
Auditions.
Dude, thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate you. We'll definitely have to have you back.
Yes, please. Anytime.
You teaching tonight?
Tonight? Yeah, 5. Not here. Next semester.
But he's also leading Unbounded. He leads.
Unbounded.
If anybody out there is watching too and knows, Chris is also our Unbounded coach / leader, choreographer. So, and he does an awesome job with that here on Monday nights.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Come through, guys.
How do people follow you?
Just Cris Motions on everything. CrisMotions.
Yeah.
Boom.
I always had to think about people who spell Chris with an H. It's like, like your name is Tris. Yeah. Come on. Guys.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you guys
Everyone,
for having me.
Thank you, brother.
We out.
All right.
Peace out.
Let's go.
Cub Scouts.
Woo!
Cub Scouts. That was great.
Thanks,
Oh my God.
Appreciate you.
Flowed by.
Easy. Yeah. That was.